through Patreon, we're inventing the MySpace tip jar. Is that the version? Would that be the podcast version of Payola? Give us money and we'll put you in our top 8 MySpace friends?
Yeah, Podola.
Happy Easter, Steve. Now, obviously, you're missing out on, what is it, John Ralphio's baby back ribs that he usually makes on Easter for you.
Yeah, John Ralphio, yes. The guy from Parks and Rec. I have a Bobcat connection.
I mean, why wouldn't you have a Bobcat guy? I mean, that's a normal connection to have. Is no, we give a call to old Jimmy. He's got the Bobcat. We'll give him a shout. He'll just drive it on over. He's just a couple blocks down.
Offer still stands, man. You need a Bobcat guy. I got a Bobcat guy.
Again, I mean, this isn't a normal connection to have. Like, I think we need to understand that. A lot of people have I got a guy who can whatever. I got a
landscaping guy.
Yeah, I got a car guy. I got a landscaping guy. Nah, not over at Steve's house. You need something done Bobcat related.
I'm your man.
The man to call. Did you get now,
well,
Steve?
Actually, no. I'm not your man, but I know someone who is your man.
So you take the finder's fee then, right? Because obviously,
just shave about 30% off the top, and I'll put that in my pocket.
Now, this last week, you've probably been inundated, right, with listeners saying, "Well, Steve, isn't this fortuitous timing? I need a Bobcat, and you've got a Bobcat guy."
I'm in need of some bobcatting. Surprisingly, no. I haven't have not been inundated with Bobcat connection requests.
Well, that's a real upset because that's honestly something that people would probably need. Now, granted, right now, Steve, the way things are, it's probably not allowed to again take the Bobcat down the road a couple of blocks, as I think I was describing last week, to go do a different project.
I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but yeah, maybe when the offer presents itself, or when the time presents itself that I need to travel for some Bobcat work, I'll look into that. Look into the legalities of it.
Now, is there any update, Steve? We talked last week about deck demo and how you were initially considering it, but because of concerns about Toby not being the smartest pup on the block, you were holding off on that. Is there any update? Are you still in the planning stages on deck demo, or is that on hold right now?
Again, I'm in kind of the same spot because it has to be an all or one deal, or an all or nothing deal. I have to be able to. I need a day when I can start and complete it all at once, because I don't want the skeleton of my deck remaining, Toby not realizing it, and then jumping into a pile of whatever is under the deck, which, as we've chronicled on this podcast many times, previous owners of this house, they just kind of hid stuff when they didn't want it anymore.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure there's a swimming pool under there, and who knows what else.
But we've talked about this a ton. You're a project guy. You're always doing something, whether, it's typically something and then I roll my eyes at.
Wait until you hear what I was doing just before we started recording.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll get to that later, though.
Don't tell me you've started a project, Steve.
No. This was one of those nagging things that I've been meaning to do, like, that'll take me probably total, I don't know, I'm about 20 minutes in, and I probably have 10 minutes remaining at the most. Okay. This is just a little check off the old list thing.
Okay. All right. I worry about you being holed up over there You're a guy who needs to get your hands on a power tool, I guess. So are you just walking around the house now and just making drill noises? Like you just walk by the table and go, zim, zim, zim.
Every piece of trim I pass, I just kind of tug on it, like this look loose to you.
You're just like bouncing back and forth on your flooring, being like, "Is this one creaking? Am I hearing this?" All
right, let's. We gotta look into this. Get a jackhammer. Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear my pathetic mini project that I was working on this morning?
I do. Let's hear about what, Steve, your Saturday morning pre-record involved this morning.
Actually, you know something? You can see it for yourself if you go to... I know you're not on Twitter anymore.
No, I'm not.
But if you go to my... I believe I also posted it on Facebook as well. So if you want to pull that up right now, I think that you'll... I don't know. I can't possibly describe it as well as the
picture would show. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
If we can give myself just a minute. Oh, okay. All right. So there's a picture from Steve. Oh, boy. Boy, you are a busy bee this morning, Steve. Quarantine. This is as you mentioned, Steve, from your Facebook page. Did you post this on your personal Twitter as well, I imagine?
Yeah, it's on Twitter. It's also on Instagram.
Quarantine has brought me to organizing random hardware in the basement. And you have... Now, is this a newly bought yellow... like space saver?
No, it was I had it in the garage and it had a couple random things in it, so I basically just went through that, threw it all into another box and brought it down into the basement because I have so many. I think a lot of people, anyone who does a project around the house every now and then, I bet that you have something similar too. You go down into your basement or out into your garage, into your little tool area, wherever it all is, and you have that random smattering of like 4 screws left over, a couple of nails, some nuts and bolts, those little plastic wall anchors that everybody has about 3 million of. Mm-hmm. And they were all just basically dumped in a cardboard box and had been sitting on the floor in the basement since we moved in 2.5 years ago. But I determined that today was the day. Today was finally the day, the big day. I was going to organize them all. So I cleaned out my little space saver toolbox compartment thing, and I'm going to town.
Now let me ask you this, because we've talked about this, and you and I are kind of similar in this regard. Did you have a hard time doing this? Because what you have in this space saver is you have what looks to be mostly like screws and other knickknacks, but there, Yeah. So did you organize the screws, Steve, by size, by color? By bit? By new and used? How did you determine? Because in my mind, you probably started doing it, and then you probably decided, well, no, the white screws need to be by the white screws. Well, wait, the rounded tops need to be with the rounded tops. And then eventually you ended up with like 2 screws in 8 different compartments, and you realized you needed to make some changes.
You're not far off. I started out, I did the initial sort through, was like Phillips head over here, flathead over here, and then like nuts and bolts and everything in their own little piles. But then I realized I had all of these little containers, so then I started doing like, okay, wood screws over here, and metal screws over here. Yeah. So I do have them. I have them somewhat organized.
That's an easy differentiation to make. It's just. The wood screws are the, and then the
oh yeah, you nailed it.
The metal screws, you said?
Yeah,
the metal screws are the
yeah,
those ones.
I just look at you dropping knowledge.
Hardware Jack,
Kyle, Dick Kyle.
Nope. Again, nope. Ridiculous. So, boy, I mean. Where do you go from here, Steve? We wrap up shop this morning, this Saturday morning. We close down the recording here in a little while.
By the way, it is Saturday, April 18th, 2020, the year of our Lord. It's the Steve and Kyle podcast, recording once again remotely. You may not know that, though, because of how fantastic the quality sounds.
Oh, man, I tell you what.
But we are indeed. We have not been in the same room to record in 3 weeks.
It's been 3 weeks. I got to tell you, I miss it. Oh, God,
I do too.
miss it. I miss it. As laborious and as much as I hate it, the old trek over there and plopping down and doing this show, boy, it was such a thing of routine that when we finally close and lock the doors and light the match to burn this thing to the ground, I won't miss it.
Yeah, well, we probably won't burn it to the ground because it is my house, and I'd rather not burn my house.
Well, I mean, it's a figurative description. I mean, we delete all audio and all references that we ever did this, and we all move on like we never knew each other. So, Steve, we wrap up shop here in a little while. What do? You got 10 minutes of work. What's a guy like you going to do outside of drive a net crazy by bobbing back and forth on floorboards seeing if they creak?
Today might be deck day, but I might have to come over and borrow your reciprocating saw again.
Oh,
so
wow.
So if you could just leave it out on the porch.
Yeah.
I will stay socially distanced, stop by, pick it up. I honestly don't have anything to do, and I'm going nuts. Like I work all week, looking forward to the weekend, like most people do.
Sure,
you look forward to those couple of days off.
Wow, you sounded like a real country song right there.
I did, yeah.
I work all week, waiting for the weekend.
And then the weekend gets here, and I can't do anything. And look, I'm not complaining about the social distancing thing. It is of utmost importance, and I am following through with that to a T. I don't go anywhere that is not essential. But man, it's like you don't realize how little, or you don't realize how much you take that stuff for granted. Like I can't just run to the store, pick up some stuff. I can't just hang out. It's
you're doing it all wrong, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to act like everything's normal. Okay. If you want some chip dip, go to the store for a thing of chip dip.
Okay, that seems like
preferably take Evelyn. And,
sure.
And get her out of the car and, have her high five patrons as she walks by because people love babies who high five.
If somebody sneezes, maybe run through the mist with my mouth open.
Or, Steve, you can do what I did this week. And you can go buy a new car.
You bought a new car, huh?
I did. I bought a new car.
Look at you.
It's weird. I was talking about this with my friend who is the person who sold me the car from a dealership. Like, I feel a little bit weird. My job has been deemed essential. It's not. Yeah. It really is.
Oh, yeah, me too. And me too. I'm the least essential of all of the essential jobs.
But with that, they're giving us a lot of perks in terms of financial stuff and really being very nice. Like they fed us meals the last 4 or 5 Fridays, family dinners they've given us to take home.
That's
awesome.
Giving
me a couple of 15 packs of beer. They're giving us money for daycare, and they're giving us like support pay is what they're calling it. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel a little bit weird.
So what? Hold on. What you're saying is you're really cashing in on this pandemic.
That's what I mean. I feel a little bit weird, right? Because there's articles about the auto industry and all of these industries and how when they come back, they're going to be so different and like possibly changed for the worse or for the the smaller forever. And so here I am seeing the lowest like auto loan rates in history.
Yeah.
And there I was on Thursday picking up my new vehicle from my friend at the dealership.
We talking brand spanking new?
No, new to me, Steve. I'm not in that.
New
listen,
to you.
I'm not in your other coworkers' tax brackets. We've talked about that. New brand.
I appreciate how you said my other coworkers' tax brackets.
Yeah, because I'm your main coworker. And your other coworkers. Now, obviously, you were the late to the party in terms of your other coworkers. So I'm guessing you're not exactly getting a huge slice of that massive pie that
it's. I'm getting like if you know how every pie chart you look at, no matter what the topic is, there's always that little tiny sliver that says other.
Yeah.
I'm other. That's what I'm getting.
That's right. Steve's the other pie. You're getting, like, if someone were eating that pie, and let's say someone took a bite of this proverbial pie, and then another person told a really funny joke, and the person eating the pie laughed, and, a few crumbs spat out, that's Steve's portion of that pie.
I'm the portion of the pie where people are eating it, and they say, am I tasting nutmeg? I can't really put my finger on it.
You're the dash. You're the, like, in the recipe where it says a dash of nutmeg. That's you, Steve. Steve, you're the dash of nutmeg.
Yeah, otherwise known as miscellaneous.
That's right.
So
Steve's the miscellaneous and nutmeg on the recipe card, and everybody kind of goes, "Ugh, really? We could skip that, right?"
It's
but other than that, the job is great.
I mean, I love the job. Everything's fantastic. I mean,
but anyway,
there couldn't be a more accurate description.
Yeah. But anyway, you and I are not in the same tax bracket as your other coworkers.
No,
well, I shouldn't say.
Definitely
I do not mean to speak for you. I apologize. I am not. So
no. Feel free to speak for other. Okay, you feel free to speak for miscellaneous.
Listen, Kyle here, speaking for nutmeg, and today we're here to tell you.
Is that it? Do I finally have a nickname?
I think it's Nutmeg and Baldy in the morning.
All right, we're done. This episode's done. It's not going to go anywhere but up from here, or down, whatever the expression is.
Philip, if you're still out there and you're still kicking and you're still willing to draw for fun, Nutmeg and Baldy in the morning now moves to the top of the list. Okay,
I think Baldy and Nutmeg sounds better. I think
Baldy
you get naming.
And Nutmeg. Oh wow,
yeah.
That's what it takes. Is the self-deprecating Baldy? That's what it takes to get my name at the forefront of the morning nut.
All right. So in this piece of artwork that'll never be done, it's gonna have you holding a little can of, like, the old school car wax, where it comes in, like, the little round container,
right?
And there will be a big glob of it on your head, obviously, and you'll have a towel where you're doing, like, the where you're polishing it.
So I'm polishing my head like a bowling ball,
right? Because you have to accentuate the baldness.
Well, obviously you have to accentuate the baldness. The name's Baldy. If you're not accentuating it, you're just lying at that point.
Yeah. And then Nutmeg, me, it's just me, but with a T-shirt that has a little jar of nutmeg on it.
And we never explain, like, the actual show never explains why you're nutmeg. But hey, that's part of the charm.
Keep them guessing.
Yeah, now I've learned everything I know about the radio biz from your coworkers. So,
right.
Wackadoodle names is a must to begin our burgeoning careers.
They pay off in the long run.
Wow, boy, that took a real
weird turn.
But anyway, yeah, I decided to take this quarantine time, and again, I do feel weird. Because I know there's so many people struggling and so many people out of work. Mm-hmm. And here I am still working and being treated really, really well by my employer. And, I mean, I don't know what's next. I mean, I think I'm going to look into refinancing our house. Like,
hey, why not? I mean, knock it down to 15 or so.
At this point, we're doing okay. My wife is a healthcare worker, and I've been deemed essential, which means her and I are of the same importance in terms of this pandemic.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, and when they write the history books years from now, they're going to say, you know who really saved us? I mean, yeah, those hospital workers.
Yeah, snooze.
But the guys that coordinated beverage delivery to your favorite convenience stores.
You're damn right. You know, there's going to be one person of power who's going to be going into their local convenience store. They're going to say, you know, everything was empty. except for this one shot of energy I needed. And those are the people who really kept this economy moving during those tough, tough times.
Those were the ones that had the heart. You know, while everyone else was hiding at home, the beverage guys were out in full force, saving America.
Yep, that's, listen, you're welcome, America. You're welcome. Okay?
You got a cape? Do you wear a cape when you go into work?
No, just at home.
Gotcha.
Just at home.
Remind your wife every now and then, like,
yep.
Hey, this guy's important.
Hey, you're talking to the real hero here, okay? So, yeah, go throw your scrubs over the stairs so we can do them in the laundry so we all don't die. I'll go out to my car and pick up the free energy drink I took from work today. You're welcome.
So you're rolling in your sweet new wheels.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Was your other car? It had been a while since I had been in it, but I remember it seeming like it was in fine working order. Or was it just one of those things where it had a lot of service coming up that would have been too much to pay for? Or?
No, literally none of that. It was a purchase of convenience. It was.
So this time last week, you had no plans of buying a new car.
Nope.
And now you have a new car.
I sent my friend a message simply out of curiosity just to say,
you're turning into me. You are definitely turning into me.
Well, yeah, but I didn't buy a car that I need to bring to a body shop and have them like bend an axle back straight or whatever you had to do.
No, not so much that, but in the sense of something just came to you immediately and you said, yeah, I'm doing this.
Absolutely unnecessary. I sent my friend a message out of the blue saying, hey, just out of curiosity. And again, he works at a dealership, and they weren't at the dealership at the time because of everything being shut down. I said simply, what's the trade-in value? Can you get me an estimate? Because I had a number in my head that you can find on the internet, and it was lower than what I anticipated.
Yeah.
And what I really would have needed to make a move anyway. And he came back with a number that was a lot higher than what I anticipated. And I said, well, if you can get me something like that, et cetera, and there we moved forward. Drove 2 vehicles, bought one of them, filled out all the paperwork on Thursday, apologized to all of the people in the unemployment line as I drove past them in my new rig like a jerk.
No doubt knocked it in neutral and revved the engine a bit just to show how America you were.
Yeah, rolled down a window and then screamed, hey! That's a double pane moonroof on top!
Always sensitive.
And they all waved and said, oh, can we see it? And I said, nah, just wait in line for your unemployment. I got to go home.
I don't associate with the poor. Said Kyle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course.
I mean, maybe that was Baldy that said that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been a Kyle
move.
But
listen, Baldy's a jerk. That's his whole character on the radio. Baldy doesn't mess around. He insults poor people. He insults overweight people. There's not even undertones. It's just direct misogyny.
Oh, yeah.
And then
real jerk.
And then Nutmeg is the voice of reason in the background with his microphone like 30% lower, going, hey, stop it. Hey
now, let's think about the people behind that comment.
Yeah, and then I just play a sound effect over the top of you and hit the next song.
And in my mind, it's always that, like, the sound of a spring popping sound effect. Like,
oh, we got the joke of the day coming up after the Foo Fighters. Sting! But no, it's just a weird feeling. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not profiting, right? But I mean, technically, I am. I'm making more money than I was before during this, and it's just an odd place to be. I mean, I'm not the only one in it. It's just I feel really bad for people who are out of work with jobs that, I mean, in the scheme of things, are as essential or probably more than I am. I mean, when you look at my job and you look at yours, I mean, if you were given a deck of cards, Steve, you know, with 25 titles on them of jobs or whatever, and you had to pick 5 cards or 10 cards, you and I, what we do, wouldn't approach those 10.
We wouldn't be in the deck.
No, we wouldn't be. That's fair. That's much more valid. Like, we wouldn't qualify.
I mean, if you had a deck of 5,000 cards, we might be in there.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you figure people in the financial industry, all of these other careers that, well, you might not think, oh, it's essential. That's not essential. Then you realize, oh, hey, I need this money from the bank, or I need to contact so-and-so about my credit card. Yeah, that's much more essential than what you or I do on a daily basis. So
yeah, it was weird. We got our credit card statement the other day, and like we have like a monthly average that it pretty much always sits at.
Yeah. And
when I got our credit card statement, it just so happened that our credit card billing cycle started almost like on the exact day that everything kind of went to hell, like a month ago, when everybody was basically shut down, and we got the stay-at-home order here in Michigan. So I got the credit card statement, and it's half of what it normally is, which is great.
Right.
But then I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I realized, like, oh, we haven't done anything at all in the last month. And it really made me realize, like, wow, we do a lot of non-essential stuff.
Oh, it's crazy.
You know, whether it's going out for dinner, or like that extra trip to the store for something that you don't really need. You know, like, oh man, I could really go for some ice cream tonight, and I'll pick up a pizza on the way home, and things like that. So looking at the credit card statement, I was like, holy crap. Well, I guess one, that's good, because of everything that's going on. I'm being a little bit more trying to save money a little bit more, just be a little bit smarter with money.
Right.
But yeah, it was a real eye opener. I was talking to Annette about it. I was like, why don't we just do this all the time, and then we'll like be able to retire early,
right?
Because when I'm still working at 78, I'm not going to think like, oh boy, this is worth it because of that chocolate chip ice cream cone I had when I was 40.
Well, yeah, but think of the chocolate chip ice cream cone you're having at age 40. How much you enjoy it in the moment, Steve.
I know it's a real tough balancing act.
Boy, I don't know if you're like me then at all. Well, obviously, based on your credit card statement, probably not. I can't stop myself from shopping and buying stuff online right now.
It's the urge has been there more than ever. I have bought a few things, but it's been like, oh, I need this cable adapter or something for my computer.
Yeah.
I need a cable for my phone or whatever. So I have ordered some stuff, but it's been very, very minimal.
Jesus, man.
Mainly because I still feel bad about like, how they're saying people are still waiting to get necessary medical supplies and everything. So I'm trying to keep that in the back of my head. But
man, I bought 4 pairs of pants, new socks, a leaf blower, and a car. Like that's impressive.
So you bought a Jeep, right? I mean, this is just the one thing you're waiting to tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Ranger. Nope. Wrangler.
Wrangler. Yeah, there you go.
It's got all the doors that come off there, for your driving needs.
You got the Freedom panels out, obviously, because it's a nice day today.
Yep, and then the Constitution roof that you just few pins that you pop off and enjoy the sunlight.
Well, I look forward to seeing the brand new Jeep next time we get together to record. Which,
yeah, well, if you've got to stop by and get the reciprocating saw, I'll open the garage and point, and and then you just make your way.
Just set the saw at the bottom of the driveway.
Oh wow! So you don't even want to come in the driveway then? Okay.
No. No, I'm steering clear. Social distancing.
I can still open the garage, and you can look at the back of my vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll work. Maybe I'll honk it.
Yeah, because that's really what I need to see is that your new car has a horn.
Look at all the amenities, Steve. 4 wheels and a horn.
That thing got a hood on it? Whoa, Mr. Fancy Man.
It pops up. And you press a little lever. I mean, it's brand new.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. So I don't know. I can't find myself... I can't force myself to stop by buying stupid stuff, too. But, I don't know. It's out of a little bit of boredom, right? But
yeah,
two,
definitely.
it's like I've wanted a gas leaf blower for a long time. I've had a gift card since my birthday in March. I was like, well, let's make the...
Happy birthday, by the way. Happy birthday once again.
Thank you, Steve. Can't be said enough. Just 6 weeks late this year on the on the podcast. Actually, what's funny is you wished me happy birthday closer to your birthday than mine.
No, we definitely talked about this on the podcast because we talked about how the traditional text message was sent saying happy birthday, you piece of S.
Oh, I don't remember what's talking about that this year.
Yeah.
We may have, but yeah, that obviously
I believe we did.
Maybe
it was just a social media post. I don't quite remember. I'm pretty sure
it was just a social media post, and it's Kyle's birthday celebration, a far cry from the extravaganza we throw on the yearly basis for Steve's birthday. Where, this year again, another year goes by, Steve, where we can't go big boy vroom vroom up the sandhill for your birthday in a month.
It hurts. Yeah, I'm assuming things will not be wide open at that point to go big boy vroom vroom, but maybe next year. And it's a shame too, especially with you with your brand new Jeep parked there in the driveway.
Yep, the new Ranger Gler. And
Ranger Gler.
And it's like I said, a constitutional roof. And we just pop everything off, man. And by the time you and I go up that hill, it'd be a motor and 2 folding chairs and a couple of pedals. That's all that would be left by the time we decided to go up the sand hill. Yeah, hopefully. Maybe this summer, though, Steve. Maybe later this summer we can get up the sand hill.
That would be nice.
I can be, as I slap you on the arm to stop so I can vomit out the... right opening because there's no door there.
Vomit out the lack of doors.
Actually, it's probably better. That way you don't have to worry about getting over the window and not, it just makes it easier.
Much more open air to barf into.
Yeah, just lean to the right and just keep shredding up the hill.
Oh man,
Steve,
this is I'm a little bit depressed because I keep hearing obviously we're on a shutdown until another 2 weeks officially.
Yep.
But I just saw that the state of Wisconsin, which is our neighbor to the west, is shut down until May 24th, I think.
Oh wow! So it's being extended around the country.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Jeez, so Pete's.
And I would assume that we'll be right behind that, which is basically another 5 weeks.
Oh man. I'm fine. Honestly, this is my dream. I don't have anybody bothering me, waving to me, talking to me. Leave me alone. I don't have to deal with any of that crap. I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine.
You kind of this is where you really thrive.
Yeah, I mean, not like I needed to make excuses, but now I don't even have to fake trying to get away if my neighbors are nearby. Or other people. Now I can almost essentially hold up my hand and say, hey, get the hell away from me, you lunatics. I have no desire to speak to you. And also, it's illegal. Which I think you can say, right? It's illegal now, right?
It's illegal. Well, it's not illegal to talk to people. Let's not be silly.
I feel like you can say it's illegal, though, and really put the fear into them to keep them away from you.
I mean, I guess whatever you want to do, man.
Maybe I'll put that on the poll this week. Can you tell someone it's illegal if they try to talk to you? I think, I'll put that on the poll. And speaking of polls, Steve, I have results.
We have a lot to get to.
Yeah, for our smattering of polls last week that were all over the board.
Did we have 5 last week?
I think we had 5. Yeah, we had 5. Again, all over the board. Some reassuring.
Now, I had sent you... just so people don't think that you're snooping around Twitter or anything, don't you worry. I screenshotted the results and sent them to you, so you could do all the adding up of the numbers. Because let's be honest, this is really important.
This is the most important thing during this economic shutdown and during these hard times, is that I can have all of the numbers and do them. So I can read them to the audience. So the smattering last week, Steve. Can you survive living in a horse carcass in the desert?
Let's see. I would think that people probably said yes.
That's what I would have thought, too, simply based on the famous Star Wars scene where Mr. Solo slept in a big horse.
If you're looking at me for answers, not going to find them here because never saw any of them.
I think one of them slept in a big robot butt or something like that. I don't remember. I don't remember the specifics.
So one of the characters from Star Wars slept in a robot butt?
Nailed it.
Hey, sounds right to me.
Well, Steve, you and I would be incorrect. 68% of the audience says no, you cannot survive sleeping in a horse carcass in the desert.
Why not? It's the desert. I mean, you're not gonna freeze to death. Obviously, it's gonna provide plenty of shade for you. It's a horse. Now, people are stupid. Why? What the hell?
I mean, listen. This goes back to could we be cowboys? And people said no. You're just wrong.
Well, people said no.
The next poll is this is a big one, Steve. Is Steve a bad father for not getting his 6-month-old daughter an Easter basket?
Oh, man, this one's going to hurt. This one is going to hurt.
Now, did you end up hearing from any family, your mother, mother-in-law, whoever, about, maybe on the phone, like, oh, what'd you get Evelyn for Easter? And then you said nothing, and then you kind of
absolutely did.
Okay, good. So you were guilted after making this decision of not getting anything.
100%.
Well, Steve.
Oh, boy.
60% of the audience said, no, you're not a bad father. 40% are looking at you in shame right now.
Hey, that's all right. I got the majority. That's all I care about. Now, remember, you got to group yourself in on that one, too. That was worded a little bit unfairly because it only focused on me.
Oh, no. Wow, did Steve get an unfair poll question? Oh, no. Somebody line up the ambulances.
But, the funny thing is, it was worded unfairly, and I still won.
Yeah, to hell with this podcast.
See? If you had grouped yourself in, you could have finally gotten a win.
Oh, it would have been 45-55 that we're bad parents. That's right. Maybe I changed my name from Baldy to the 15-point swing.
Well, that's like your nickname. Baldy the 15-point swing. Kyle Baldy the 15-point swing.
God, there's a lot of parentheses going on in this naming. Next up, Steve, is a horse racing a donkey through the desert a classic tortoise and the hare situation?
Wait, is it? Read it again.
Is a horse racing a donkey through the desert a classic tortoise and the hare situation? I believe I stood by. You can go race off with your horse, and as soon as it stubs its toe and can't walk anymore for some reason, I'll plod on by you walking next to my donkey in about 6 hours as you fall asleep inside your dead horse's carcass.
Boy, the context of this really eludes me, but I don't remember what side I'm on, but I can't wait to hear the answer.
I believe it was just me talking about how horses are stupid again. Steve, a nail biter this time. An absolute nail biter. 52% of the audience said yes. A horse racing a donkey through the desert is a classic tortoise and the hare situation.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everyone's talking about it.
Listen, it's a topic of debate among all the... Maybe bring that to the side gig this week. Known for stealing our good content anyway. Maybe you bring up the old horse-donkey situation and see where that leads you on Monday morning.
I forget what we were talking about on the side gig earlier this week, but there was a debate going on about something, and I nearly said, I'll put that on the poll for this week.
Ooh! Oh, man, I tell you what.
I was like, I'll put...
Man, if you guys steal the live show polls and then read the polls, that's where I'm bringing a Molotov to the studio.
We fairly stole that. We stole that fair and square from Dan Le Batard.
Yep, that's ours now via Dan Le Batard. And if it gets stolen by another terrestrial radio program, then we have issues.
Yeah. then we're done.
We're the first in the podcasting game to do this. This is our innovation. We have nothing else left. We're two nearly middle-aged white dudes who chat once a week about nonsense problems. Give us polls.
Horses.
Just give us the polls. Don't steal that too. Next
right,
up, Steve.
Do we have one left?
Two left. Next up is Kyle's Gripe of the Week rant. A good idea, and this one was a runaway, Steve. 89% of the audience said yes, which is...
Hey, look at it.
I got to tell you, when you sent me that this morning, I just looked on Facebook, kind of puffed my chest out a little bit. That feels nice.
Feels pretty good, right?
Yeah, it feels pretty nice.
You finally got a win under your belt. It took you 4.5 years. Well, you finally won one.
Well, just the fact that people don't... it doesn't totally make people turn the podcast off when I do that. That feels okay. So that one was a runaway.
What? Remind me, what was the gripe of the week from last week?
Oh, boy. What was the gripe of the week last week? That's a real good question, Steve. Boy, I can't remember what I complained about for a few minutes.
That's all right. It was it was the gripe of the week.
Yeah.
The week ended. The gripe was gone.
Listen.
So, well done.
I acknowledge it. You acknowledge it, too. We record this thing on Saturdays or Sundays. By the time Wednesday rolls around, I don't remember a thing. Not a thing. Last one this week, Steve. Does the Kenny Rogers factoid of the week provide a sense of calming in uncertain times?
If this isn't 100% yes... then our audience has failed us.
Steve.
Oh, no.
60% of the audience says yes. If you're part of the 40% who doesn't now enjoy our newest A-bit, which happens to be at the end of every episode, the Kenny Rogers factoid of the week, what are you doing listening to this podcast?
This is a win that still feels like a loss.
You know what? I would sacrifice the chest puffing moment I had 30 seconds ago. I want this poll to go 90-10, mine to go 60-40.
Do you remember that classic video from Major League Baseball from years and years ago, like back in the 90s, with Jose Canseco playing outfield, and a fly ball came and it hit him in the head and bounced over the fence for a home run?
Absolutely, Steve. One of the biggest bloopers in baseball history.
If I'm the batter, I still consider that an out. I don't take credit for the home run on that.
Right.
Because it was so pathetic.
You call the statisticians at Major League Baseball and you say, please take one home run off of my career total in the official record book and reduce all of my averages, including one more out instead of a home run.
This is our Jose Canseco ball off the head home run moment.
I have to tell you, I genuinely look forward now, in its third incarnation this week, to the Kenny Rogers factoid of the week.
Well, it's funny you bring that up, Kyle, because it's time for Kenny Rogers fact of the week.
You've got to know when to hold 'em. Fact of the week.
Know when to fold 'em.
Factoid.
I like our on-the-spot imaging.
Well, next week when it returns, Steve, I'm going to need you to do some on-the-spot imaging for Kyle's Gripe of the Week.
Gripe of the Week?
Yeah.
He's mad.
I'm thinking
Kyle's pissed at everybody.
Gripe of the Week. Gripe of the Week.
And then, grrr. And that's my cue. Oh, that's next week. Stay tuned. I texted you last night as well. I've got 2 in the queue now, and boy, am I boiling. Boy, am I boiling right now. I can't wait.
So that's next week, right? That's every other week?
I mean, we can do it this week, but we're a little tight on time once we get to the Kenny Rogers factoid of the week, and we got a Fast 5 coming this week. So,
well, this week's Kenny Rogers fact of the week, again, we're going to be doing this for as long as he is dead, so this might last a little while.
Now, did he go Ted Williams and have his head frozen? Like, is it possible that in 30 years we could get a new Kenny Rogers album from just his head?
You know, we don't know, but I guess that might be something that we hear about one week on the Kenny Rogers Fact of the Week. Fact of the Week. You gotta know when to hold 'em.
Factoid.
The Gambler. Okay. This week's Kenny Rogers Fact of the Week, again going on from now until eternity. We Are the World, the USA for Africa hit. You remember that, of course.
Certainly.
Recorded at Kenny Rogers' studio, his own studio.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? What
Yeah.
was? And again, I'm putting you on the spot here. What was Kenny Rogers' studio called? Did he? Was it like on his property or?
Boy, let's see. Kenny owned the building that We Are the World was recorded in 1981. Kenny bought an old ABC Dunhill building in Los Angeles and converted it into a recording studio. A few years later, some of the world's most talented artists gathered in that exact building to record We Are the World, and history was made.
No kidding.
And there is your Kenny Rogers.
Factoid, you got to know when to hold 'em. Factoid.
He's dead.
Is that part of the fact? Or is that part of the intro or the closing?
That doesn't seem fair. We don't need to. I feel like this is a celebration of what Kenny Rogers brought us, and I just brought it down a level. I apologize. That's unnecessary. Listen,
hey, but
we have some audio and some real creative minds that listen to this podcast, Steve. If anybody wants to create something like that, anywhere between a 5 and 10 second sounder for the Kenny Rogers Factoid of the Week, we can use that as a nice buffer, Steve, for when we do this every week for as long as Kenny Rogers remains deceased.
Now, I guess, sure, I could do that, seeing as how I work in the broadcast field, and I recently talked about how I'm so bored that I'm organizing nuts and bolts in my basement.
Sure.
But I don't want to.
Again, by color, by size, by head type, by bit size. It was a real nightmare for Steve's methodical mind to have to figure out how to organize all of these trinkets.
Wait, hold on. You need a blue Phillips head? Let me pull out my case.
No, Annette. No, Annette, you big dummy. That white flathead is not the same as this bronze round top with a Phillips head screw on it. You big idiot. Go upstairs.
Now, I know that we're a little bit short on time, but I just sent you a picture. I just texted you a picture of what will be today's bonus Facebook giveaway here at the Steve House.
Oh,
Facebook
boy.
Marketplace or Craigslist giveaway. Now, tell me, would you be interested in this if you were to see it? Have you gotten the picture yet?
I have not gotten the picture.
Oh, why does this always happen to us? I mean, it would be much easier if you were just sitting here and I could
This is
turn my phone
the
and
trials and
show it to
tribulations of having to record about 6 miles apart.
Oh, wait a minute. Can't I just... I can share my...
Yeah, you
my
can share
screen
it.
with you. Yeah, let's do a share screen. And I'll do that one. Share. Okay. You see me now? You see my screen?
Oh, wow, Steve. Okay, so what we have today for you...
Please describe exactly what you're seeing.
For you fine folks in the greater West Michigan area looking for a deal. Now, is this going to be the Steve special? Free?
Free. 100% free.
Folks, I apologize. You don't stand a chance in hell at getting these because they're going to be gone so quickly. What we have here, 4, 6, 8, 10, 17. What we have
20,
today,
right?
folks, is a collection of 20 to 22 glass jars. Now I know what you're thinking. I don't need a 16-ounce jar. Well, are you in luck? Because we've got an 8-ounce. And I know what you're saying. I don't need an 8-ounce jar. You're in luck. Looks like there's a few 12-ounces in there, too. Now I know what you're saying. What could I possibly do with all of the lids for 20 to 22 jars? Well, you're also in luck. Because lids are not included in today's special.
Boy, I need to get you to record videos for all of my giveaways.
Oh,
like
please.
it's an infomercial, and then I'll produce it. You know, like those old car commercials, like when somebody's trying to sell their 84 Toyota Tercel on Craigslist, and they make a commercial as if it's a brand new car. And they highlight all of the selling points of it.
I have no problem doing that. For everything you're doing a giveaway for, and we can post that on our YouTube channel, Steve, as like an additional series where I just do a couple minutes advertising Steve's crappy giveaways.
So what do you think? You think that they'll go fast?
Yeah, people jar stuff all the time. People will make candles. Yep. People will do whatever. Those things will be gone. Porch pickup.
The thing is, though,
in an hour.
The thing is, though, you're deceived by the photo because there's nothing really in the photo that would give it scale. Those are like baby food size jars.
That's fine.
Like those little ones, they're probably 2 ounces maybe. The biggest one I bet is 4 ounces.
I honestly, looking at those, people will use that stuff for like weddings. You know what I mean?
Can you add something to the voiceover then?
Yeah.
Because obviously I recorded that whole thing. Can you add, most of them have some kind of spray paint or tape still stuck to them.
For all of you folks looking for a rustic feel to your jarring and canning needs, you're in luck. Different colors varying from dark brown all the way to light brown are going to be attributed to random amounts of these jars pending pickup.
Dark all the way to light brown?
Dark all the way to light. You might even get a sprinkle of orangish brown if you play your cards right.
Oh boy, I can't wait. So keep your keep posted to Facebook Marketplace if you live near me for this killer deal.
Oh, they'll be gone in a half hour, Steve.
Yeah, hopefully. That's the one thing that I enjoy doing during quarantine is going through my house and just getting rid of garbage.
Right.
Trying to sell things.
Right.
So I have somebody coming over in like 3 hours to pay me $5 for a pair of old jumper cables.
Oh my God! I've sold a 25-year-old electric leaf blower for $20 and a weed whacker that hasn't been used in 3 years for $30. So
nice.
I'm doing a little better than you in terms of finances, but you are in fact clearing out more garbage than I am thus far.
Yeah. I also have somebody coming later today or tomorrow to pick up some signs that, like, we have a box of wedding stuff, wedding decorations from the reception, like the little wooden signs that say bride and groom and like reserved that we had on the pews at the wedding.
Right.
So somebody's coming to pay me $30 for them later.
Whoa!
I'm catching right back up.
Man, oh man, you are just rolling in the dough as you and I both seem to profit from the worldwide pandemic that is consuming everything.
The American way. How can I profit off of this?
Absolutely. Capitalism never dies, Steve, and that is the finest note to end this podcast on today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As we hear the music roll in, another socially distant episode of the Steve and Kyle podcast in the books. Honestly, if you had to guess, when would be the next time we'll be in the same room doing this?
Oh, never.
Within a month?
Never.
Did you say never or I hope never? Well, say no more. I guess I got my answer.
I think this podcast dies with you and I 6 miles apart via Zoom meeting.
So, like, the second that I hit click, or the second that I hit upload on the last podcast, I just croak right after it.
Yep, that's it. That's how it all dies.
Good. Well, that's a real uplifting note to end this on.
Thanks, everybody, and enjoy Steve's death.
Yeah. Enjoy Kyle's hot takes as transcribed by me on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Also on Facebook and Instagram at Steve and Kyle. We'll get to all of them next week. But, we will talk to you next time. See you later.